Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Reaching Riches here. So today I want to give you guys an update on my Sofi debt consolidation loan. Um, and I want to talk to you guys about some major life changes that are happening that are going to affect the way I invest and how we will reach our retirement goals in the future. So first, let's go over quick recap on SoFi. So this is my SoFi loan. Um, we put it out on October 11th. Um, $50,000. We have almost $48,000 remaining. And our monthly payment is $1075.93. Next payment, so it pulls every 11th of the month. So this is an auto pay. Um, and we have a rate of 10.55% fixed rate for 60 months. Um, so, just quick recap here. November, so we paid our minimum, and then we paid an additional of $1,000 here. So the plan was to pay our monthly payment, which is $1075.93, and then we would also pay $1,000 in dividends. So that was the plan. So total every month it would go down by 2,075, which would be great, and that's how we would cut this payment time half in about half. So instead of 60 months, it would be closer to somewhere between 25 and 30 months. So which would be that would be amazing if we could do that. But we ran into some issues, which I explained in the last video. There's a quick recap here. We had a baby. My wife went on paternity, and we thought she had enough PTO to keep paying her until she went back to work, but she did not have enough. So it's been single income pretty much since I want to say since November, like a little after this payment. But we did have enough saved up to do the December payment. So that was sitting in the bank account for a while, and that got pulled out. Uh, and then, so for January, or sorry, let's just back up a bit. So for December, I was not able to do $1,000 dividend payment. Those dividends actually went to just paying bills, which was really nice to have some extra income to help pay the bills since my wife isn't working. And then that'll likely be the same for January. So in a few days, this is going to pull out. I actually have the dividends going to pull. We're going to pay the SoFi, and then my salary will pay the bills. So this is a transfer I made out of Robinhood into my bank account, and it's gonna go and pay the SoFi loan. All right. So, so no additional payments are going to be made here. Um, like I said, my salary is going to go to pay all the bills again. But in February, I'm hoping we can get back on track to where we can do $2,000 payments every month. So, slight setback, but I think we're still, or we'll get back on track here in a bit. All right, so that is my SoFi loan, and then just want to talk to you guys about some major life changes that have happened. Mainly in November until now, kind of. It's been crazy. So, in November, my father-in-law, I think is, what do you call it? A hernia? Is it hernia? Or I think it's a hernia where your part of your intestines pushes through like your muscle or something somewhere in your stomach, where it like pushes through, um, and it's like really painful. Um, so I think it's called a hernia. I think so. He went to the doctors, uh, and I think they did surgery to patch him up, push that thing through, and do whatever they need to do. And he was pretty much out of commission for like 2, maybe 3 weeks, where he couldn't really do much, besides just like the basics, but he couldn't really do much. So I guess he got to thinking that like he's getting old now. I think he's in his 70s. Like both my in-laws are in their 70s. Uh, he's retired. Um, my mother-in-law is still working part-time, like a few days a month, so it's not too much. But he's retired. He's got a pension, but the pension isn't really enough to or it's enough to cover just the basics. Like both their incomes together is enough to cover just the basics. They don't have a whole lot to like be going out and dining out or going on trips and stuff like that. They don't make that kind of money. Uh, so he was like looking at his options, trying to figure out how to get more money in retirement. Uh, he thought about annuities or something like that. I don't know too much about it, but whenever he talked to the lady, uh, he said there's she was gonna get him like a few $100s a month, which is like nothing. It's not that much. Um, and then I'm a high income investor, so this is like kind of in my wheelhouse. People who need income. So I told him about these. He was kind of skeptical, and he was like, I don't want to risk too much, which is understandable if you're in retirement. Um, so, uh, one of the ways they were thinking about trying to retire, something called a reverse mortgage. I don't really understand it too much, but that was one of the options. Another option was them selling their house, downsizing into like a condo, um, something like that. And then I proposed that, hey, um, why don't we, like, I will sell my house, you sell your house, and then we just get one big house together, which would help me, because, you know, I bring my son over here like 5 days a week to get, like, babysitting, so that would help us, because we would have a babysitter in house. I don't have to commute just to get there, and then it would help them because we could take on some of the bills since we're still working. Um, so it was. I mean, we agreed on that, and I think that's also like a good idea. Also, we just need to sell our house, so that's kind of where uh, December kind of fell into. So my father-in-law issue happened like toward the end of November, and we started talking December, or like last few days of November, going to December, is when we made the decision to sell both our houses and try to get one big house together. So we've been moving all of our stuff out into storage and into the in-laws. So we're moving all of our stuff into storage and in-laws, and then selling our house. So that's been happening the last few weeks. We're about, I want to say, 99% moved out. There's just like a few things left. Um, so we're gonna go move those last few things, clean up the house, and then we're gonna be ready to list it. Hopefully, we can get it sold soon, and then we will live at the in-laws until we find a new house, which we've definitely been looking. We found some stuff that we like, but we have to get the house sold first. So that was one major change. And the next one is that I started an LLC for investment purposes. It's pretty much it's only gonna be for like my money, and then it's gonna be my in-laws' money. Um, so I would say, what do you call it? A family office. And I looked into it a bit. It's uh, so the LLC is going to be, it's mainly just investing in high yield funds, with some options trading sprinkled in there, and then I'm just going to pay out the dividends. Technically, it's all the money in there is mine, technically, um, but my in-laws have given me some money. They gifted it to me, to invest, and then uh, dividends I get paid out. I pay some out to them, and then um, the rest of it will go to me. Um, it will either like get reinvested or gets paid out, pretty much. But the money uh, is in the LLC, or will be in the LLC. Um, so right now everything's still in Robinhood, as you kind of saw in the beginning. But I'm trying to move everything over to Interactive Brokers. That's where I have my LLC account, and uh, that's where I'll be doing all the investing. Once I'm finally moved over, ran into a lot of hiccups trying to get that transferred over to Interactive Brokers, mainly because Robinhood has a lot of issues. Um, but once all that's moved over, um, then I can convert. Well, it's got to go Robinhood individual account to Interactive Brokers individual account, and then I have to do a conversion from from individual to entity account. That's how you get it into the LLC. At least that's what I've been told. So I'm still stuck in the process of trying to get my money out of Robinhood and into Interactive Brokers. All right, um, so the money is going to be in there. I'm going to be investing and going to be trying to get some business loans um, to. So if I can get some business loans, I'll invest it and then pay back the loans, and then eventually I can get some nice ones. I mean, I've heard of people getting like $100,000 loans plus. So that would be awesome if I could qualify for that. But it's a little tough. You got to build business credit, which is something I didn't know existed. I do now, so there's a lot to it. Um, so those are the major updates there. I'll probably be doing more videos on this here in the future. But if you guys do want to see how that goes, um, let me know. I'm definitely down to make some videos on how that whole process goes. All right. So that's all I had for you guys today. Catch y'all in the next one.